Kind of wondered, should I do a garden tour? A lot of YouTubers do a garden tour, and I haven't. But now that I'm not gonna come here again, it's kind of my last chance to show it to you. So I decided to go out on the limb and go for it. It's not my typical YouTube content. Let me know what you think of that. Maybe it sparks some ideas of other things you would like to see me do on YouTube. So the idea with the front yard was to make a beautiful front yard for the public. There's a big park close by, a lot of foot traffic, heavy use, a lot of dogs coming by and doing their thing. So I wanted to make it attractive and beautiful and add something to people's day, but I wanted to be water conscious and low maintenance for myself, and also to not have food here because there was a fair amount of lead in the soils closer to the house. So farther away from the house, I did 3 dwarf fig trees, a hachia persimmon, an olive tree, a kiwi, 3 different citrus. So I managed to squeeze in a number of edible plants. Now I'm going to head into the ornamental gray water garden. And this is a laundry gray water garden. It's only had laundry water, except when I go out of town, I turn on the backup irrigation. So for the last 21 years, this has only had laundry water. Got a pineapple guava, nice and far from the house. It's a driveway area. Coming on back, got clumping bamboo outside the bathroom, so when people are in there, they don't actually even need a curtain. They have privacy from the vegetation. Got Japanese maples and different plectranthus, which are an ornamental in the mint family. Just trying to create some fun plants, some fun contrast with the leaves. Also flowers. This is a heavy bloomer in the spring. All kinds of flowers. But it's fall right now, so there's less flowers. This is a larch tree. Hellebores and digitalis and ferns. Lithidora, another orange tree back there, and a mulberry bush. They call this a mulberry bush, but it perfectly blocks out the neighbor's house. This is the backyard, and it's all away from the house, so there was no lead in the soil. And so I've got 3 compost bins over there made of recycled fence boards, and this was just lawn when I got the place. So here we have Taunton Dean perennial kale, and this patch is relatively young, I think less than a year, and it's 4 feet tall or so. It's absolutely delicious. Perennial kale from England. Similar to a purple tree collard, as you can see, there's a lot of purple in there, but it is definitely a different plant. Here we have a golden delicious apple. I've kept it pruned low. A little Frankenstein apple. A bunch of different types grafted, and it's pretty young. Now I got some eggplant, more Fuji apples, and a California gold apricot tree. That's probably about 18 feet tall, and a 18-foot tall bear's lime behind it. It's hard to see there. That's the lime. And in the apple tree row, I've got a lot of different things like lavender and sages, feverfew, pennyroyal there, perennial kales, yarrow, Egyptian walking onions that I just harvested the pups from, and nasturtium and catnip. Catnip is the neighborhood favorite. So here we have jolly green tree collards. This patch is also maybe just over a year old and heavily pruned for Project Tree Collard. But yeah, just look at this. Hi, Jolly. You're jolly and green. Moving on with the tour. This was built as a duck coop. And later I had chickens in it also. Hachia persimmon tree, which is also about 15 feet tall, and the prized Meyer lemon there with the ladder, because that is a favorite around here. The fences are all upcycled grape stakes from like the 1930s to 50s. That was a very popular grape stake, usually redwood or cedar in California. And you can see the Fuyu persimmons on here. It's just so laden with persimmons that it's hard to walk around. And I have another Fuyu persimmon tree here. Little overkill. The camera cannot capture the beauty of the garden. I have some annuals, tomatoes and basil in that row. Little cottage and a water catchment tank from the roof of the cottage. Got our stinging nettle patch and our comfrey. And I use the water from the water catchment in the garden. It's a 1,500-gallon tank. Tried to soften the look of the tank from certain angles from the house with a willow. Here we have one of many patches of purple tree collards. This patch is planted a few years ago, maybe about a year and a half. Heavily pruned for Project Tree Collard. The sunflowers, by the way, are, I mean, some of them over there are like, I don't know, almost 15 feet tall. They're a California native sunflower called yakets. And I'm just in love with this sunflower, and I don't generally plant them. They plant themselves, and I often dig them up and move them around if it's in a bad spot. This is Butterfly Central in here. You can see a monarch there. I did orange cosmos and rudbeckia, anise hyssop, milkweed, and some salvias. So the monarchs and other butterflies just love this garden. Sad to say, this is my only green queen here. But it is an extremely beautiful tree colored. The leaves are just exquisite. So I like to have a lot of flowers. I used to be really into just as many vegetables as I could. But over time, I realized how much joy I get from watching the pollinators and the birds do their thing. And I think it really keeps the plants healthier because there's a balance going on between the good insects and the bad insects, for lack of a better way of describing it. But the beneficial insects, really like the garden. And they help really keep everything in control. These are merit tree collards. They're very young, done from huge cuttings. So these little ones are only like 1.5 feet tall. And this one's about 3 feet tall now. Got some cucumbers with powdery mildew on some of my bamboo stakes. Got the bamboo over here. And it's useful to use in the garden, stakes. I've got a perennial cosmic kale there, and an avocado, a dwarf avocado, a huge asparagus patch, and lots of perennial herbs here with a Warren pear. Behind is the greenhouse. And this is an amazing blackberry that was gifted to me. And we don't know what kind it is, but it just makes these huge berries. I mean, it's very big. And they're delicious, I should add. Look at these huge blackberries. Another of the delicious berries on the arbor, and more purple tree collards. And you got to have your zucchini and your Blenheim apricot and your cherry trees, I believe. I'm trying to remember. Stella was one of the two. I planted them in the same hole so they could cross-pollinate each other and save on space. And a loganberry. And I've just got some fun stuff back here, but it's mostly ornamental except for the cherry. Water catchment barrel from the roof to use in the water, and an outdoor shower using a RV propane tank water heater. So you can have a nice warm shower outside. One of the things I really wanted to achieve with this garden is to block out the neighbors and the urban feel, even though you hear all the urban sounds, the sirens and the traffic and the train, and you can barely see the neighbors' houses. And a lot of that's because it's a quarter-acre lot. It was easier to screen them out, but these houses aren't here, and you can just barely see them through the fruit trees. We have the greenhouse, which used to be filled with tree collards, and actually I downsized it as it was starting to have some dry rot. I made it smaller, but now I just have some succulents in it. That is the main, quote, vegetable flower garden. Sort of controlled chaos. Sometimes it's not controlled. And then there's a little side yard. So here we have big blue tree collards. These are also quite young. So I don't know, maybe two years. But they're just, it's hard to see because the sunlight is very uneven right now, but they have the more blue color in the shade. In the sun, they look a bit more green and washed out. Behind the other Warren pear, I have an espaliered pear tree here. And very happy tree. More comfrey. I love to do comfrey underneath deciduous fruit trees. Got more purple tree collards here. These are less than a year old, and they are 6.5 feet tall. We've got a mini royal and a mini royal Lee cherry trees here. They're low chill cherry trees planted in one hole. Cross-pollinate one another. And a champak tree and a kaffir lime here to use in cooking. Used to have a rabbit hutch here, which is why I think these agaves grew so big from all the rabbit poop. Copper, our trusty bunny, lived to be, I think, 15. And he lived mostly on purple tree collards. That was his favorite. Of all the varieties, he just loved the purple tree collards. These are like miscellaneous flower and vegetable beds at the moment, with some potatoes and arugula and different kinds of flowers, scabiosa, calendula, cosmos, amaranth, and these really beautiful asters that I've just really fallen in love with. So I was able to successfully screen out the neighbors' homes. I wanted to create a feeling of living in the countryside, even though it's an urban lot, and it is a very large lot for an urban lot. It's about a quarter acre. We've got these delicious smelling, I wish you could smell them, mandavilla flowers on the growing on the sauna so beautifully. Climbing hydrangea, camellia, more bamboo, edible bamboo, jasmine growing on the outdoor shower. Another outdoor shower. This time of year we have the orb weaver spiders out. There's an orb weaver spider. They're good spiders. They catch all kinds of bugs. They're very harmless. But I love this shower where the knobs are sort of hidden in the jasmine to turn it on. And it also does have hot water from the house. And we've got a little Japanese maple with the edible bamboo and other cannas. This is a very flowery garden in spring, I might add. It's just that it's fall and you can't see it. And this used to be a hot tub. Now we've got a dogwood, some other beautiful shrubbery to create a real feeling of a urban oasis or getaway or retreat. This giant shrub that's like 7 feet tall is a sage. I believe it's from Mexico or Central America in origin, but it's these beautiful like green calyxes, and then the petals are a deep purple. Very fun plant. Smoke bush and the tropical cannas. The do well in Berkeley. Used to have blueberries over here, but they just didn't get properly cared for and they went bye-bye. This shed was built from salvaged wood from barns and fence boards and things like that. So tried to maximize on the character for it, and it was like supposed to be a little playhouse for my son when he was little, but he didn't really like it that much, and it became a little wood shed. A little wonky construction project, adds a lot of character. Got a timber bamboo here. It's a clumping bamboo, but it's very tall. Screens out the neighbor's house right there. And this rock sit on as a bench. Brought that in with the sauna. The sauna had to come in on a crane many years ago. They have this sort of like retreat-like garden, very peaceful. In the cooler, rainier months, this whole area is filled with this California native fern. It comes up when it starts raining. It's not out right now. Thanks for watching, and for more information about tree collards, which are featured in this YouTube, you can go to projecttreecollard.org, where we sell plants, cuttings, and seeds, and have a lot of information on how to grow and propagate tree collards.